Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As you know, my name is Magda Desir, and I'm the host for Hammock's nonprofit live TV segment. As today's guest, I have the president's son, Daniel Hernandez. This is Daniel Hernandez, Elsie's one and only beloved son. Daniel, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers?
Well, like she said, Daniel Hernandez, the one and only son to Elsie and Romeo Hernandez.
All right. Well, Daniel, what do you do?
Currently, I am running my own business, teaching Spanish and French and Mandarin as enrichment programs to daycares and after-school programs throughout the city of Chicago.
Oh, so you teach Mandarin too?
As well, yes.
Oh, do you personally teach it?
I do not at the moment personally teach it. I kind of organize things and make sure things run smoothly.
Okay.
And kind of manage the operations.
And you
like
have
that.
people to do that for you?
The teaching, yes. I mean, we have the curriculum that I've worked on, and one of my persons that works for me for quite some time. We've been working together closely on it. You know, we have that curriculum that we help our instructors get acquainted with and
Right.
familiar, and they take the material and go from there. But as far as in the classroom with the little ones, I have not been in there recently, I should say, but I have in the past.
Okay. All right. Well, how did this kick off?
Well, I was in college. I was majoring in Spanish, and my mother had the brilliant idea that there was a need, or I guess the realization that there was a need in the south side of Chicago for early childhood education, aged children 2 to 6,
Right.
to receive language services. Because they don't actually get exposed to Spanish and French and foreign languages until maybe middle school if they're lucky, high school for sure, because the curriculum typically requires them to get 2 years, but they don't, from 2 to 14 they're not exposed.
Okay.
So there was a need in the community, the entire south side, to get some exposure for the children in foreign languages.
Okay. Wow. So 3. So are you adding any more languages?
Not at the moment. Spanish is very popular. Everybody's been demanding Spanish. Second most spoken language in the country.
US,
so
yes, exactly.
that's been the high demand. So until the demand calls for it, there's been French and Mandarin, so that's why we picked up French and Mandarin, but maybe Portuguese in the future. Maybe we've done some Japanese before.
Okay.
So we shall see.
All right. Well, where can people find you?
We have a website, www.fbtichicago.com. We also have Instagram, just at the @ FBTI Chicago. We don't have Twitter. And Facebook, UFIO Bilingual Training Institute. They'll be able to find us there as well.
All right, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Well, we are talking about Daniel's business, but we're going to be talking about the match between Haiti and Mexico that happened, 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
Oh, no, that happened last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday, a week ago.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, Daniel is half Haitian and half Mexican. So, I kind of wanted to bring him on to talk about what it's like to live in a household where mom is Haitian and dad is Mexican. And I kind of want to know who he was rooting for on the low. He said he was neutral, but I don't know. But let's see what's happening at the museum this month. Again, this is the Haitian American Museum of Chicago. The website, www.hammock.org. If you want any information on the museum or want to reach out, you can email them at info@hammock.org. Remember, last time I said that the phone number had changed last month. So the phone number, the new phone number is 773-654-3398. Follow us on Instagram at Hammock1804 and like us on Facebook at Haitian American Museum of Chicago. The current events that are happening this month at the museum. Well, today, of course, we're going to be talking about Haitian soccer and the Gold Cup. with me, Magda Desir, and as you all were introduced to, Elsie's son, the president, Daniel Hernandez. We also have a movie matinee as well that will be happening at the museum. I'm sorry, the date is right there. It's going to be Saturday, July 27th from 3 to 5. The movie is called How to Conquer America in One Night. We had Compa Soiree last month, so we're doing it again this month. This will be on the last Thursday of the month, July 26th. So come to Compa Soiree. Join us for after work social. Drums, guitar, keyboard, bass. We got it all. Tickets can be sold at the door. It'll be from 6 to 8. Light refreshments and drinks will be will be available. Not sold, I'm sorry. They will be available. If you want more information, you can email hammock at info@hammock.org. You can call the phone number, or you can visit us on Facebook and Instagram and the website to get more information about Compa Soiree. We were promoting the trip to Haiti last month, so I'm going to put it up again. If you would like any information on a trip to Haiti, definitely reach out to Elsie, the president and founder of the museum, at the email info@hammock.org. And catch me every second Wednesday of every month on CAN TV, live with myself or guests. Not exactly sure who's coming on next month. I have an idea who is, but I kind of want to keep that a secret, sort of, kind of, But those are all the events that are happening at Hammock this month. So please definitely check out the website and definitely, if you can, attend. We have another one. I haven't gotten to it, but I kind of want to jump into the Gold Cup real quick, and then we'll bring it back and finish it with the rest of the events that are happening this month. So, Daniel, the Haiti versus Mexico match was last Tuesday, correct?
Correct.
How did you feel about the whole match from start to finish?
Well, I actually happened to be watching the match with a couple friends of mine, Mexican. Actually, everybody where I was watching it happened to be Mexican.
Okay.
So you might think they were rooting against Haiti. I mean, obviously, deep down, they wanted Mexico to win.
Right, of course.
But surprisingly, for me, I guess I should say, they actually gave us way more credit than I expected. For example, the penalty that was won, they didn't want it.
Really?
Everybody that I was with that was Mexican, they were all Mexican. None of them said, they were all like, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. If anything, da-da-da-da-da. But they were just like, no, we don't want to win this way. We want to win like with at least a legitimate penalty, not a soft penalty.
Right.
But, c'est la vie.
Right.
And that's soccer. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Right.
Referees make decisions, and decisions sometimes cost you the games. Mexico has been a victim. 2014, nobody can forget. Rafa Marquez and Robbins. Dive in the box and no contact, no era penal. A very famous hashtag trend that was trending. So that's part of the game, but. As far as the game goes, I think the Haitian team was a little anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and especially in the final third, I think the semifinal, that the adrenaline was a little bit higher than the previous matches, and I think that's why they were unable to kind of make the connections that they needed to beat the defense. Mexico, they're more technical. So everything with them is very technical. The Haitian team was very, very physical, which, in these games, physicality can kind of throw off people's rhythm. So that's, they were physical. Haitian's team was physical, they were fast, and they were technically solid. They weren't great, but they were technically solid. A lot of errors. But the Mexican team was, like I said, they were technical. They were, controlling for the most part. They got once they got the rhythm going, they were starting to get pressure into the Haitian side, but Haitians would make the last ditch effort, clearance. The Haitians would get an opportunity, and a one pass was too long, or pass is too short, or pass in the wrong direction, and they couldn't make that final connection, the final third. And Mexico had trouble beating those defenders because those defenders were big, strong, and fast, and technically they were solid.
Okay.
The penalty was very unfortunate. I think there were other calls that were missed that could have been more of a penalty for Mexico, but that's the game.
Interesting. It's interesting to hear you say that people were actually rooting for Haiti in regards to that penalty kick.
Now, they weren't rooting. They were just saying that they
They
didn't feel like it was a penalty.
Okay,
they were
got
like,
it.
as much as we'll take it, obviously, because we're gonna get through. But in hindsight, it's not really a penalty. We don't think it's a penalty. There would be one in the crowd. Oh, you made contact, but then they're like, their both feet are both high. One just happened to be higher than the other, and those calls shouldn't have been made.
Gotcha.
But that's what they were saying.
Okay.
And they gave a lot of credit to Haiti and how they play and how they're athletic and they're fast and they're strong, and technically they're not bad.
Okay.
They're not great, but they're not bad.
Got it.
So, and they played with heart. That's the one thing we have to everybody can agree on, is that they played.
Yeah, they did.
With heart.
They did play with heart.
Mm.
They did. I read a lot of it online on social media and stuff like that, and I saw the clip from that resulted into the penalty, but I didn't watch the entire game because one, it was late, and two, it was past my bedtime. But yes, okay. So with all that being said, what was it like for you? You said you were neutral.
Right.
So did you really want a certain country to win?
I would probably say I would give the slight edge to Haiti, just because I've never seen Haiti in that position. This is the furthest they've ever made it. Just to see them get to there, unfortunately, it would have been at the expense of Mexico.
Yeah.
But I've seen Mexico there they're in the Gold Cup final every 4 years or whenever the Gold Cup is. So that's not something that's unheard of. Last Gold Cup was Jamaica. Jamaica beat the U.S. and made it to the Gold Cup, and then they lost to Mexico. I wouldn't have mind seeing Haiti in the Gold Cup final against Mexico, and then if Mexico wins, but just to get to that final. And it was in Soldier Field. I would have bought tickets for sure.
Yeah, because I saw it just got
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I would never have seen, not even that. It's just, even for the nosebleeds to pay whatever the amount was going for, when am I ever going to see a Mexico USA Gold Cup final game? So that's
true.
like, I would have definitely paid whatever I had to pay to see that.
Okay. So what was it like growing up in a household with a Haitian mother and a Mexican father?
Well, interesting, to say the least. I think there are a lot of other variables that kind of played a role in it. For example, none of my mother's family is in Chicago. They're all in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas my dad's family is half in Chicago, half in Mexico. So that plays a part because, I have my uncles, I have my aunts in Chicago who are from my dad's side and they're speaking Spanish, and I'm seeing them every weekend and family parties. And then my mom's side is in New York and they're in Queens, and I don't see them. I see them once a year, twice a year when we go to New York.
Right.
So it's not so heavily, the influence is not as heavy as the Mexican one. Not only that, Chicago in general doesn't have a big Haitian population like New York and Miami and things like that. So, if I want to say, oh, I'm going to go hang out with some... now at 29, I've made a few Haitian friends now, actually. So I play soccer with a few guys who are Haitian. So I'm starting to kind of build those connections. But growing up, I didn't know anybody that was Haitian that was my age, really, basically. We actually had something in common when we were friends. I went to all African-American schools, so there's that. So while my parents had their own clash of cultures at home, I would say, there's this clash of identity with my school,
Right.
And then there's that clash of identity as we're in the United States and what does the general public view me,
Right.
So there's these all different variables. So the identity thing it's a big topic in my childhood and growing up and going to these schools where it's not like I'm going to a Haitian school or a strong, with a strong Haitian base or a strong Mexican base, going to an African American school where the culture's different.
Right.
My African American friends, I think they understand, that from the outside, if I'm driving a car, if something happens and the police pull me over for whatever, they're not gonna look at me and say, "Oh yeah, this kid is Mexican," or "Oh, this kid is Haitian," and they see me as
African American.
right,
Black kid, right?
black
Yeah.
kid, right. So there's that where I think as if I go to and if I'm in Haiti, I would probably be okay as a Haitian. They'd probably see me as he's just Haitian.
Right. Exactly.
Right. But you go to Mexico. I'm in Mexico. I know I'm going to a taxi. Taxis in Mexico don't work like here. They don't.
Right.
There's no fares.
Exactly.
So you go there, you have to negotiate what the cost is to go to the next place.
They do that in Haiti too.
Yeah. So luckily I have family in Mexico who would tell me, hey, from here to here it's this cost. This is the cost. Then I go in a taxi. I pull a flag at taxi, and they try and get over. They think I'm not from there. Or I don't have anybody there. They're like, no, this is where we're gonna go. I'm like, oh no. But they see me as even though I'm half Mexican, they see me as a foreigner. So in the household, my dad's speaking Spanish all the time. My mom speaks 4 languages, so she's French, Haitian, Creole. She's speaking Spanish, English. Good mix of everything. She's stuck more with French than Haitian Creole, which I get it. French is more useful, I would say, in the sense that worldwide.
Right.
There's more French going on than Haitian Creole. But, I mean, yeah, that's really it. My mom was, she's from Haiti, but she has a lot of New York in her.
Right.
So, a lot of the New York stories, and, if this was New York, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Doing that. But, yeah, that's really a snapshot. My snapshot is, like, I have my dad's family here in Chicago. My mom's in New York. When I'm in New York, there's no doubt, I'm Haitian, and
right.
I have these Haitian influences, but I'm, 75% of the time I'm in Chicago, Mexican, speaking Spanish. My grandma here was always around. She doesn't speak English, so there's always Spanish going on.
Right.
I probably would say my mom spoke more Spanish than Haitian Creole.
Really?
Yeah, she would only speak Haitian Creole to like to the family.
Right.
Haitian friends on the phone.
Right.
But like I said, there's not a Haitian community that you could say like, oh, we grew up in a Haitian. I feel like that would have been totally different.
Right.
I sometimes I wish there was that Haitian community that we grew up in. Like there's such a strong Mexican community here. If we had that Haitian community that was so stuck together, and you knew exactly where it was. It's on this street and this street.
Right.
You find this Haitian community. I think it would have been a whole lot different, but. There was none of that. And
right.
The only connection I would have been able to make would have been my family, my aunts and uncles from my mom's side and cousins, but they're in New York.
Right.
And I'm the youngest, or one of the youngest, and they're all in New York, and I have my dad's influence is very strong. My grandma, my dad, my aunts and uncles here and cousins that I grew up with. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, but then it's like I can't, I don't look like a full Mexican. It's not the first thing people are going to say. When I play on these Mexican teams, they always ask me, well, where are you from? And I have to tell them, well, yeah, I'm Mexican and Haitian, da-da-da-da.
So what's the reaction when you say that?
What part of Mexico?
Okay.
Which one is your Mexican, your dad or your mom, things like that. But then usually they don't ask me after that.
They don't ask you that, that's it?
No, but usually people, the first thing they say is, are you... what is it, Dominican? That's the number one.
I could see that. Everybody
says Dominican. I'll get Puerto Rican sometimes. Everybody loves to say Romeo Santos and compare me to this guy, and it's everything but Mexican.
Everything but Mexican.
Everything but Mexican.
But I mean, I can see the DR. I can see the Dominican. I mean,
man.
we share an island with the Dominican, and of course Afro Latino and stuff like that. I was just asked about that, about whether I consider myself Afro-Latino or not. So I can see why people would say if you were Dominican and or Puerto Rican, because, I would have never put together Haitian and Mexican, because I would have been like, really?
Oh,
How was that? How did that go?
I get that, and I usually, I'm older now, but when I was young, I used to have fun with it, I would, if I'm out and about somebody, and I'm talking to somebody I just met, I'll tell them, hey, guess. If you can guess what I mixed with, I'll buy you a drink. Things like that. Like, knowing that there's no way they're gonna guess it. Like, I'll give you 5 tries. You don't get it after 5 tries?
That's it.
That's it. They'll say this, they'll say that. Like, oh, black. Well, okay, black,
black
why?
Right, yeah.
Like, you gotta be a little more specific than that. So that's pretty fun. I mean, it's fun too. Sometimes, I'll have fun with it, and then somebody will ask, well, where are you from? There's a
Right.
little accent or something. I'm like, oh, I'm Colombian. Or, oh, Panamanian. Oh, they'll believe it. They believe it in the heartbeat. They just, oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm not Colombian. I don't know anything about that. Like,
Right.
no, I'm just kidding. So, so I take advantage sometimes and joke around and pass off for other things. But,
Okay. All right. Yeah, because that, like I said, you don't come across that a lot, especially in the Midwest. Like East Coast, like you said, East Coast and the South. Oh yeah, Florida and New York definitely you come across it. But in Chicago, you'd be like, really? People will look at you like, seriously?
Yeah.
How'd that work? And all of that
How'd your
stuff.
parents meet?
Yes, exactly. I'm
number
sure you
one.
get that question a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
All the
do.
time.
Really? All the time?
All the time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, people want to know, how did that happen? Like, what? Like, they never heard of people mix.
Did your parents tell you how they met?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
they met, yeah, of course.
As long as you know, that's
Yeah.
all that matters. It shouldn't be anybody else's business. But I just wanted to go back to let you guys know what else is going on at the museum. We do have Uptown Works, which is next week from 5:30 to 7. Go ahead and meet us at Emerald City for another chance to paint with local artists as well as paint with each other as a community. And then Hammock has their annual membership going on. So, we even forgot to mention that you were on the board. So, visit the website for details about the benefits of the membership as well. And before we leave, you are on the board of Hammock. What do you do for Hammock?
I am the
Since your
director of
mom's
memberships.
Director of memberships.
Yes.
Ooh. What does that entail?
Dealing with memberships. This just came up with, so keeping track of that.
How's that
attending
going
board
so
meetings.
far?
Going okay. It's going good.
Anybody sign up?
We're trying.
You trying?
Yeah. So
Really?
hopefully they got the announcement there so that they can sign up and we can get a big chunk that watched this show and said, hey,
I'm sure people will sign up. People are watching. People are definitely calling. People are emailing and coming through.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they will do that. But if you do want to get an annual membership with the restaurant, with the museum, definitely visit www.hammock.org or visit us on Facebook at Haitian American Museum of Chicago and follow us on Instagram at Hammock 1804. For the phone number of the museum, remember we changed it at 773-654-3398. And Daniel, thank you for coming in and talking about the match and growing up as a Haitian Mexican young man in the city of Chicago.
Thank you.
Now, do you have any advice for children who are mixed and growing up in the city and stuff like that? Who have dual citizenships in another country?
I don't think we have time for that. I can get.
So what's one thing you would tell them
that
you would be like, man, I wish I knew that when I was younger?
Just accept themselves for who they are. I mean, don't try and fit into any group. Just embrace all your cultural influences, and that's what makes you who you are.
Did you see any similarities in the cultures?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, definitely.
Which food do you like the best?
Man, I can't see my life without tacos. So to be honest, Taco Tuesday.
Tacos is number one.
Taco Tuesday.
How often was tacos cooked in the house?
Tortillas tortillas, rice.
Rice
it's
is pretty common.
But that's an everyday thing in my house. That's, my mom gave up meat. She gave up X, Y, Z, but she's like rice. So rice and tortillas at work. There's those things. There's no dieting off of those things. So
really,
yeah.
Ooh,
Tough.
that must have been tough.
Yeah.
Was it?
Still is.
So when you went over, for Thanksgiving and family stuff like that, was it? What culture took over the most?
It's a bit of everything.
Really?
Yeah. You have plantain and you have.
Because
you have American, you have a turkey. I mean, turkey's American.
But true,
so
but it's funny because the plantains are cooked differently in the Mexican culture and the Haitian culture.
They don't really cook it in Mexican culture like that. So.
They don't?
No.
No, really?
Puerto Ricans do.
Yeah, but I heard they made the hibrito thing over in the U.S.
Well,
but Puerto Ricans
I'm not
do?
Puerto Rican. So.
No,
I just know that they do.
Do
so,
grapevine,
yeah.
I'm sorry. But really, I didn't know Mexicans didn't cook platanos like that. They didn't cook plantains like that.
No.
But I know we
I mean,
fry
they might,
'em.
but not like it's not like something they do regularly. You can't go to a Mexican restaurant and be like, yeah, let me get that.
Do we fry more, or do you guys fry just as much? I mean, does Mexican fry just as much?
Probably about even.
Really?
Maybe. Maybe Haitians a little more.
Okay.
Maybe Haitians a little more. I mean, with Mexican food, you know, anything you eat just with tortillas. Right?
Yeah, it's really with
Yeah, it's
tortillas.
just
That's just a
tortilla.
lot of rice. I know we do eat a lot of rice with like.
Yeah, the thing here is that people use forks and spoons to eat with tortillas, but you know, in Mexico,
You're supposed to
you
just
don't
scoop
even,
it, right?
Yeah, you can cut it up and use it.
Right, right.
That's really what tortillas are.
Or for.
Yeah, utensils, you know.
That's interesting. Taco Tuesday. Now you make me want to go get tacos. Just
Yeah,
talk
it's Wednesday
about-
though.
Somebody got some.
Yeah.
It's
We'll figure it out.
Somebody has some tacos that are happy hours over. Is it over yet? Yeah, it is over. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next month. And you have a great weekend and a great month. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.